On July 13th, 1918, the most powerful man on Earth sat down to write in his diary. He had ruled 1/6 of the planet and 130 million souls. But as an execution squad moved into the room directly below him, he wrote just 8 words. The weather is warm and pleasant. No news. This was Tsar Nicholas II, the last of the Romanovs. Most people think the fall of the Russian Empire was a slow, inevitable grind of history. It wasn't. It was a series of tiny, human delusions that led to a single basement in the middle of the night. This is how a 300-year dynasty missed every warning sign until the bullets started to bounce. The Bolsheviks called his final home the House of Special Purpose. For 78 days, every window was painted thick with white lead. Nicholas could hear the city breathing just feet away, but he was trapped in a whitewashed blur. Outside, the world was screaming. An army was tearing across Siberia to rescue him. The Bolsheviks knew that if the Tsar was liberated, he would become a living god for the resistance. To kill the old world, the family had to be erased. On July 16th, the order was finalized in total silence. No trial, no record, no escape. While the world prepared for a rescue, Nicholas prepared for bed. He spent his final afternoon chopping wood. At 10:30 p.m., he followed his nightly ritual, reading to his 5 children before turning out the lights. At midnight, a knock. The family's doctor was told they had to move because of unrest in the city. Nicholas, ever the stoic, dressed in his military shirt and carried his 13-year-old son, Alexei, down the stairs. His wife, Alexandra, asked for chairs because her back was aching. They truly believed they were being saved. They were led into a small basement room with a low, arched ceiling. 11 people stood against the wall, expecting a photograph to prove they were alive. Instead, the commandant pulled out a scrap of paper and read a death sentence. Nicholas turned to his family, then back to the guards, and uttered his final words. What followed was 20 minutes of absolute chaos. The room filled with so much acrid smoke the guards couldn't see. But as they fired, something impossible happened. The bullets began ricocheting off the children, as if they were wearing armor. They were. In secret, the 4 daughters had sewn the family's crown jewels, pounds of diamonds and pearls, into the lining of their corsets. The very wealth that had defined their reign and triggered the revolution was now physically keeping them alive in the dark. It didn't save them. It only prolonged the nightmare. Nicholas II was a ruler whose indecision cost millions of lives. But in that basement, he was just a father, holding a son who couldn't walk. He spent his last days documenting the weather, because the alternative was a reality he couldn't face. The cover-up lasted 89 years, but the story ends with a man in a garden, squinting at the sky, because the weather, that July, really was warm and pleasant.